Before we jump into today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Many Realms. If you're looking for Magic the Gathering and Magic the Gathering related supplies, be sure to check out ManyRealms.com. I'll post a link to their website in the video description, so be sure to go check them out. What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG. And today I thought it'd be a nice little day to do some Outlaws of Thunder Junction. We're going to do a collector box battle. Most of you are familiar with how this works, but for those of you who are not, how this thing's going to work is we have 4 participants. We're going to crack this thing open. Each one is going to get 3 packs. We're going to open those packs in rounds of 3, adding up the mana values for all the rares and all the mythics. And at the end of this thing, the person with the highest total mana value and the person with the lowest total mana value amongst rares and mythics are each going to get 1 Edge of Eternity's collector pack to go with their other spoils. In the event of a tie, we will take the highest mana value mythic as the first tiebreaker, the highest mana value rare as a second tiebreaker, and if we need a third tiebreaker, we will simply go down the line with the highest mana value rare until we have a tie. No more. OTJ. Feel like we're due. I don't know. Feel like we're due for a really good OTJ box. I hope that's what this is today. Something good off the big score, maybe a textured foil, maybe a raised foil from the big score. I'm feeling it. All right. 3 for David F. 3 for Steve H. 3 for Jeff S. And 3 for Timothy W. All right. Good luck, everyone. Let's have some fun. David, you start us off. Let's get something spicy today. What do y'all think? Here we go. We are going to start off, well, it is a mythic. It is the Extended Art Foil, the Gitrog Ravenous Ride Frog Horror Mount. And you know what? I like me some Gitrog monster. Nice little Extended Art Foil mythic to start us off. That is a 5/4 mana value. Next, we're going to hit our Breaking News slot, and it is a Vanishing Verse. That is a 2. Gray Waters Fixer. It's kind of a dead spot in the pack. I like OTJ, but I will say the commander slot is a little bit of a swing and miss. There's not a lot going on there. So that is a 4 for mana value, though. Next up, High Noon in the Extended Art. High Noon, pretty good card. Does see a little bit of fringe play as well. And then a Stinger Back Terror as the pack foil. Some decent uncommons in here as well. But that will do it there. So let's sleeve up our Ravenous Gitrog. From the base set, the base set mythics, Bristly Bill, I think was like $60, and then I think Terror is like $25-30. So those are the big hits there. There are some big hits from Big Score and a couple from Breaking News, but we'll call them out when we see them. There's 5, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 17, 6, 7, 8, 12, 17, 9, 11, 15, 17 it is. Yep. All right. Steve, to you. Here we go. I'm pretty sure it's a raised foil mythic from Big Score. Hey, Tarnation Vista. It is not the biggest of hits. That would be like Vaultborn Tyrant or Sword of Wealth and Power, but man, oh man. We do not thumb our noses at raised foil Big Score hits. These are pretty rare. That's really sweet. Oh my gosh. All right. Tarnation Vista. What in Tarnation Vista? Beautiful with that raised foiling. I'll sleeve that up in just a moment. We've got Endless Detour off the Breaking News. We've got a Gonti Kenny Acquisitor as a mythic, borderless mythic from the commander slot. A Calamity. I really like Calamity. Galloping Inferno. Just enjoy that, playing that card when I can. And then Marchesa, Dealer of Death as a pack foil. But the big news is the Big Score is the raised foil Tarnation Vista. That's really cool. Nice hit there. Congrats on that, Steve. So that's a 0. So we got 5, 8, 14. Is that a 17 also? 9, 12. Plus 5, 17 it is. Sure. Neat. All right. Well, I'm really happy that we hit a raised foil. That's cool. Those are pretty rare. Usually it's like, I think the odds are about 1 textured foil and about 1 raised foil per sub case, which is like 6 boxes, I think, if I recall correctly. All right, Jeff, to you. We start off with a foil Breaking News Outlaws Merriment, that is a 4. Followed by a Void Slime, that is a 3. Into Embrace the Unknown from the Commander slot, also a 3. There's a Mythic. Ooh, Rest in Peace. Little Rest in Peace from the Big Score. Excuse me. Rest in Peace, of course, has been printed plenty of times, but a very playable, very... I don't know. It's a card that you probably need to have at least a couple copies of if you're playing in Commander and or Constructed. So it has its uses, I guess is what I'm trying to say. 2, 4, 7, 10, 14. Let me run that back. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 14 it is. All right. Of course, all of the Big Score cards are mythics. And it was like triple bonus sheet. They were apparently going to make the Big Score, I think, its own set. And then Aftermath bombed. And they're like, well, nope, let's not do that. And they just wrapped it into... Just threw it into OTJ with the set. So we've got special guests, you've got Breaking News, and you've got Big Score. So you've got triple bonus sheet with OTJ, which I think is pretty awesome. Here we go. Timothy. You start off with an Archmage's Charm foil. That is a 3. There's a Mythic of Vorcevigor. All right, cool. Very good card. Still sees a ton of play. Free spell, way to destroy up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments. Pretty good card. That is a 4 for mana value. Lock and Load. There's a Mythic Territory Forge, so it is another Big Score showcase as well. Not going to be one of your big hitters, but a really cool card. A 5 for mana value. And then another round as a pack foil rare. Okay. Well, we've got a couple of mythics here. Sleeve those up real quick. I don't remember if I sleeved up that commander. I'll get it afterwards. 5, 9, 12, 15, 18. Let me run that back. 3, 6, 9, 13, 18 it is. So after the first round, oh, interesting. Yeah. All right, 17, 17, 14, and 18. Let's head into round 2. David F., back to you. We start with a Tai Joaquin Perfect Shot Extended Art Foil. That is a 2. Another Mythic, Overwhelming Forces. That is an overwhelmingly big mana value as well. Excuse me. That is an 8. Woo. All right. Charred Grave Robber. That is a 3. Ooh, Wanted Poster Malcolm the Eyes. That is a 2. And sure, why not another Tai Joaquin Perfect Shot in the same pack? Weird. Okay, so we did get another Breaking News Mythic. Is that like our third of the box already? That's crazy. 8, 10, 12, 15, 17 again. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus, yeah, that's a 17. David, that will bring you to a 34. Steve, of the Raised Foil Tarnation Vista, you currently also have a 17 heading into this round, this pack. There's a Mythic. Showcase Foil Ultmic Matterweaver from the Big Score. That's actually not bad. That's not bad. It's a pretty good card. 3 for 2, 4. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 1/1 gnome artifact creature or create a token that's a copy of a target artifact token you control. Has some possibilities for sure. So Foil Showcase Big Score are not super common either. So nice hit. That's a 3. Decimate, which is a 4. Thunderclap Drake. Ooh, an Assimilation Aegis Shield. I don't know why it's well, I guess it's a shield. I was like, it doesn't actually say shield, but I would assume that is the case. How about another Mythic? What is up with the doubling up? Okay. So that's a weird pack. Shoot the Sheriff. There we go. Seeing a bunch of play now. Triple Mythic pack. 2 of which are assimilation aegis. So have you assimilated properly? All right, 3, 6, 9, 11, 15, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 15 it is. And that will bring you to a 32. We will keep that raised foil vista on top. All right, Jeff, we're back to you. Here we go. Another mythic on top. Let's go. I saw the 6/6 and I was like, let it be. One of my favorite cards from the set. I love big stompy green monsters. Not even green monsters. I just love big stompy monsters in general. A lot of them come in green. So that is an extended art foil Vaultborn Tyrant, which is quite a magic card and quite a hit. Congratulations. I love it. I am a fan. Really, really nice. That is also a 7 for mana value. I will sleeve that up momentarily. Followed by Commandeer, which was a pretty good reprint here, and that is also a 7 mana value. How about a third mythic? Oh, it's a second mythic because Commandeer is not. But that's okay. That is Felix 5 Boots, which is another borderless commander. That is also a 5 mana. The Key to the Vault, which is 2. And we conclude with a Gisa the Hellraiser, which is also another mythic. Pack foil mythic Gisa. I love to see it. Well. All right. So it was, in fact, a triple mythic pack. It was just a precursor. It was just foreshadowing. All right. Well, I love that Vaultborn Tyrant. A little jealous there, not going to lie. What do we got going on for mana value, though? 7 plus 5, that's 12. 17. Wow. 24. Is that 26? 7, 8, 9. Plus 5. 14. 19. 26 it is. Oh. And that will put you at a 40, which launches you right to the top of the food chain when it comes to mana value. All right, Timothy, you had an 18, but there was 2 17s there, and now you're chasing 22 by Jeff, who just had the massive mana value and pretty sweet hits pack. All right, raised foil and a Tarnation or and a Vaultborn Tyrant in the same box. I don't hate that. Let's do more of that. Start off with one last job, which is extended art foil. That is a 3. Followed by an Electro Dominance, which is a 2. Pretty good magic card. We Ride at Dawn. Commander slot, that's a 3. Rakdos joins up. Also a pretty good card. Extended art, non-foil, that's a 5. And a Concealed Courtyard, pack foil, fast land, which is 0. And that will do it there. All right, so we have ourselves a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that a 13? That's a pretty low pack. 5, 10, 13 it is. Yeah. And that puts you at a 31. So you went from being in the high to being in the low, and Jeff went from being in the low to being in the high. That is how quickly things can change. All right, we head to our last round here. David with a 34, Steve with a 32, Jeff with a 40, and Timothy with a 31. I would say pretty much open still. Even from 31 to 40, we've seen how quickly things can switch. All right, David. You get, hey, wow. All right, I just said a lot of things and yet said nothing at all. And the reason I said all those things and yet said nothing at all, the coloring caught me off guard, and the reason for that is a textured foil Force of Vigor. So I went from it's a mythic to okay, it's breaking news to what is that that coloring, why is it so vibrant? And then oh, that's right, because it's textured foil. Wow, so we got a textured foil and a raised foil in the same box. Let's go. That's beautiful. I love it. I don't know what the value is on hand, but it is a really played card. It is a well played card that sees a ton of play, and it's a good one. That's really, really neat. Congratulations. That's a 4 for mana value. I will sleeve that up momentarily. Followed by a Path to Exile. Followed by a Smoldering Stagecoach. A Vadmir New Blood. Vampire Rogue. And a mythic back here is Memory Vessel, which is a big score mythic. Not a great one, but that's okay. Because Well, because you got a beautiful textured foil, Force Vigor. Try and show off the... It's really hard to see, like, well, you can kind of see the ridges in there. These really, they're neat because they feel like almost like metal. They did a really good job on these textures. Okay. Oh yeah, Memory Vessel. Also a mythic. So 4 plus 5, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, 16 it is. David, that brings you to a 50. Textured foil and raised foil in the same box is awesome. All right, Steve, you have a 32. You and Timothy technically battling it out for the low, although I would not count David F out either, even at the 50, because that's only 18 mana value from here. Here we go. You start off with a Satoru the Infiltrator in the Wanted Poster foil version. That is a 2 for mana value. Really cool treatment. Skullcrack, which is a 2. Followed by a Heartless Conscription. That is an 8. Hello. Ornery Tumblewag. That is a 3. And a Roxanne Starfall Savant. And I thought about doing the voice, and then I decided against it. Okay. We have ourselves a 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 17, 18. Is that a 20? 2, 4, 12, 15, 20 it is. It puts you at a 52 and technically launches you back into the high for the moment. But Jeff, you are up. You are now chasing 12 to take back the high. I think you have a pretty good tiebreaker on top if it comes to that, but 13 would take back the high outright, at least for the moment. Here we go. Starting off with a Extended Art Foil Caustic Bronco. Pretty good card. That's a 2. Followed by an Abrupt Decay, which is also a 2. Leyline Dowser, which is also a 2. This is all of a sudden getting very, very hairy for that high. Followed by Concealed Courtyard, which is a 0. And a Freeze Drive to look at. Boy, I don't think he got there. That is a 3. That is a 9. Oh my goodness. Hollow Marauder. Nurturing Pixie. Well then. 2, 4, 6, and 9. 2, 4, 6, and 9. Wow, alright. We're going to do this again. So you just went from looking really good for the high to all of a sudden you find yourself actually in the low at the moment. This is so weird. What a strange battle. All right, so Timothy, here's the deal. Steve in the high with a 52. Jeff is in the low with a 49. So you either need to go above 21 at a 22 or you need to stay below 18, so 17. Your range is good. Just pick a direction quickly in the pack. What a sweat. There's 49. There's currently 3 mana separating the high and the low. Bizarro. Here we go. Dramatic conclusion. Starting off with an Extended Art Foil Stoic Sphinx. That is a 4. Followed by an Unlicensed Hearse, which is a 2. Vengeful Regrowth, which is a 6. Another Round, which is a 3. Got a mythic back here. It is, Grand Abolisher. Neat. Big score mythic. Pack foil Grand Abolisher with the Dave Chappelle apparel on. That is a 2. I was not adding up the mana value. No idea. So let's do that now. 2, 5, 11, 12, 13. Is that a 17? 4, 5, 6. 12, 15, 17. 17, wow. Gives you a 48 and it puts you in the low. Sheesh, 6. I'm just recounting for like the 4th time. Just, I don't know, 6, 12, 15, 17 it is. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Wow, that's crazy. So the final results. David F with a 50. Steve somehow in the high with a 52. Jeff ends up with a 49 because and Timothy ends up in the low with a 48. There was 48 was the low and 52 was the high. That is not a lot of difference. That is crazy. All right, well, Timothy, you have the low, you have the honors. By the way, this box was awesome. Vaultborn Tyrant, Raised Foil, Tarnation Vista, Textured Foil, Force of Vigor, and some other stuff in there too. Like Grand Abolisher for one. All right, here we go. Let's see what EOE brings us. Start off with a Galaxy Foil Island. Frenzied Baloth as a pack foil. Into a Vernal Fen. Into the Sarima. Oh. Stellar Sights. That is a mythic. Oh, it's Despel. I thought it was Galaxy Foil. I like the foiling. Let me see here. Not Galaxy Foil. All right. At first, I was like, man, is this an Ancient Tomb? It is a Dust Bowl, though. That is a... Oh, it is. It is. I was like, the foiling is really throwing me off. I'm pretty sure it's faint, but it is a Galaxy Foil. Yep. Galaxy Foil Dust Bowl. And I should know by the number, but not that cool. So there you go. So a Galaxy Foil Dust Bowl, which is a mythic. That is not the worst place to be. That's kind of awesome. And then a Genomorph Imago as the borderless foil. Yes, I will sleeve up the Dust Bowl real quick. It is subtle, but Galaxy Foil. That's cool. Okay. That was Timothy. Sorry. Wrong spot. Steve. Here we go. Little mountain. We start off with an LG Acolyte, into an Evendo Brush Razor, followed by a Starfield Vocalist in the extended art. Stellar Sights is a Meteor Crater, sure. And, conclude with a Magus of the Moon special guest back there in that really cool treatment. You'll love to see that. That's really neat as well. Magus of the Moon obviously does see some play as well. And cool special guest treatment. I'm really happy that they did. They really knocked it out of the park with those particularly. Well, Edge of Eternities figures out a way to deliver yet again. Really cool box of OTJ. This was a lot of fun. And we didn't even hit like a Bristly Bill or a Terror of the Peaks, but just having in the same box, no less, a Raised Foil Tarnation Vista, a Textured Foil Force of Vigor, an Extended Art Foil Vaultborn Tyrant, and some other goodies to go along with it, including Abolisher. Not bad. That's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me, hit the like button for me, and by all means, drop me some comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much, everybody, and be well.